This is News 25 Daybreak.
Right now on News 25 Daybreak, flood watch. Gibson County residents react to a new flood map. Shock and scandal. Yet another sex abuse scandal takes over yet another university campus. And gone. The Ohio River's Diamond has a new owner. Good morning. Welcome to News 25 Daybreak. I'm Jordan Vandenburg. We'll help you kick off your Friday morning in just a bit. But first, let's get a look at your forecast this morning with meteorologist David Heckert, who's tracking a big chill. Our top story this morning, it could be yet another child abuse scandal at yet another prestigious university. This morning, the same shock and confusion at Penn State is now spreading to Syracuse University. Bernie Fine, the assistant coach for the men's basketball team, is on administrative leave this morning. The university took action Thursday following a police investigation into reports of child molestation. Investigators say two former ball boys, now in their 40s, brought forth the accusations against Coach Fine. Bobby Davis and his stepbrother Mike Lang report that Coach Fine molested them repeatedly over the course of 10 years. They say the sexual abuse started about 40 years ago and took place at the coach's home, locker rooms, and on team road trips. School officials say they will fully cooperate with police in this investigation. Here at home, new concerns this morning for Gibson County residents as they look back on the devastating flooding last spring. It's all thanks to this. It's a new flooding map. Unlike the paper maps that have been around untouched and unchanged for 3 decades, these new maps have been digitized so people can see them online. But they also show something else, new floodplains. Residents who live on those newly marked areas say the new maps mean more expenses.
Nobody wants to see their property value go down, and if I want to build a house and some of my family members, we're all going to have flood insurance just because they deem that it needs it.
City officials say the new maps are meant to warn residents of the potential danger if the water starts to rise again. FEMA and state officials say they will explain the new flooding maps to every county in the Hoosier State. Owensboro police need your help this morning finding the suspect wanted in Wednesday night's armed robbery. Caught on tape this morning, get a good look. Police are looking for this man. Watch very closely. It's a man in the yellow hoodie. Left side of your screen, carries a knife into the Kentucky convenience store on Southtown Boulevard. You can see him standing there. But when he goes for the cash, the clerk grabs him from behind, wrestles him to the ground. Police say the man managed to get away with some cash and fled in a silver or gray 80s model Lincoln. If you have any information, call police. The Evansville man charged with murdering 2 children will stand trial this morning in Jefferson County, Indiana. Police say 35-year-old Jeffrey Weissite set fire to his Evansville home while his 2 kids were inside. Weissite's fiancée had left the kids in his care while she was away at work. Officers tracked down his car using OnStar to Covington, Kentucky. When police surrounded him, officers say he threatened them with a knife. On Thursday, the defense filed motions to have evidence like the children's burned clothes tossed out of court. The judge denied those requests. Evansville police could soon take a digital step forward in crime-fighting technology as part of the Smart City initiative unveiled this week by Mayor Jonathan Weinzappel. New radios, instant streaming video, and surveillance cameras could soon become available for Evansville police. Right now, city officials say with $50 million to work with, those cameras are a distinct possibility, but not right now.
When we talk about safe neighborhoods, safe parks, safe transit, those ultimate decisions have not been made. We will sit down with the public safety community and other leadership to determine what's the best way to implement that type of technology.
Officials are still exploring the idea of surveillance cameras and do not know where they would be possibly placed. The mayor has said he hopes to have the whole system completed in about 2 years. A News 25 traffic alert at 6:04. A heads up for drivers this weekend in Vanderburgh County. Indiana State Police, the Vanderburgh County Sheriff's Office, and Evansville Police are teaming up to conduct a sobriety checkpoint sometime this weekend. Authorities are not releasing the exact location, date, or time. Drivers who are not impaired can expect only short 2 to 3 minute delays while passing through the checkpoint. And if you see a driver who may be impaired, you are encouraged to call police. New information this morning on an accident in northern DuBois County. Police say 23-year-old James Anthony Morris of Paoli is in stable condition this morning after driving off State Road 56 and then crashing into a tree. First responders had to pull him from the wreckage and airlift him to the University of Louisville Hospital. Right now, investigators say alcohol or drugs do not appear to have been a factor. Below freezing temperatures like today have the Vanderburgh County Highway Department on alert this morning. The department says they're getting ready to battle icy roads. Right now, officials are in the process of switching their vehicles into snowplows and salt spreaders. The department says they've made sure to order enough salt and beet juice to handle this winter storms. but they say drivers also have a job to do.
Windshield wiper blades, antifreeze, all that kind of stuff that you would imagine to be ready to move out at a moment's notice.
Highway Department officials hope to have all preparations finished by December 1st. Just like so many of their fellow demonstrators, Occupy Evansville is setting up shop at city parks. Evansville protesters say they want to camp out overnight at the Four Freedoms Monument, but its city officials have said no. The Parks Board says a city ordinance prohibits people from staying up city parks between 11 at night and sunrise. Officials also expressed concerns over sanitation and safety, but demonstrators say that will not keep them from gathering this weekend. Occupy Evansville says they plan to protest from 11 at night Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A tri-state island has a new owner this morning. A farmer called out the winning bid at an auction Thursday night. He bought the Diamond Island in the Ohio River for about $6 million. $6 million. Organizers say more than 120 people registered to bid for the 1,500-acre piece of land. Most of them were farmers.
Farming is a big operation these days. It is anything but small, and farmers need more land to make these operations work. And you've seen that tonight when some of the best farmers in the tri-state come out and compete for good farmland.
The new owners will not have to worry about getting to their island. A ferry in tow comes with it. The News 25 day planner for your Friday. The Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign officially kicks off today. The kickoff is scheduled to take place this morning at 10 at the Evansville Courier and Press building on Walnut Street, but leaders are still looking for people to volunteer as bell ringers, the familiar sound of the holidays. You can work 1 or 2 hour shifts, whatever is most convenient for you. Representatives say one person ringing a bell outside of business for 2 hours can feed an entire family for an entire week. The Evansville Icemen are getting ready to pink the rink tonight. The team is scheduled to sell special pink hockey pucks and donate a portion of their proceeds to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. The event is part of the fight against breast cancer. Women also over the age of 35 can also receive mammograms tonight at Ford Center. To qualify, it must have been a year and a day since your last mammogram, and your insurance will be billed for the screening. But if you're in need of financial help, you can qualify to receive a free mammogram. Welcome back to Daybreak. Our time now is 6:26. A report from the UN's nuclear watchdog agency finds credible evidence Iran is developing nuclear weapons. The International Atomic Energy Agency wants to send a high-level delegate to Iran to clear up questions about their nuclear program. Iran is firing back this morning, calling the report a fabrication aimed at bolstering U.S. accusations. NATO's fight with the Taliban in Afghanistan has opened on a new front this morning on Twitter. After a decade of lethal combat, NATO and the Taliban are fighting over the last word. And things got personal Thursday. The Afghan spokesman lobbed a digital insult, calling NATO a, quote, dum-dum. A dum-dum. NATO responded with the tweet, dum-dum, how the dialogue elevates. Look, nobody takes you seriously. Just stop. A dum-dum. That's what they got. Tracking the global economy this morning, President Obama touches down in Indonesia to start talks with Asian leaders. The president is meeting with leaders from India, the Philippines, and Malaysia as part of an Asian economic summit. President Obama wants to expand our country's role in shaping the Asia-Pacific region. Coming up on Daybreak, summer savings. USI could soon slash the price of tuition for students taking summer courses. How much they could save? Coming up. Kicking the habit, a new measure from Evansville city leaders takes aim at River City smokers. Those stories plus the latest from the First Warning the Weather Center moments away when News 25 Daybreak comes right back. Right now on News 25 Daybreak, tuition rollback. A local university plans to give its students a financial leg up. Occupy too much. The latest on the national movement turning into violent street warfare. And a citywide smokeout. Evansville leaders hope for a stricter ban on smoking. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on this Friday morning. Welcome to News 25 Daybreak. I'm Jordan Vandenburg. All those stories and a whole lot more is coming up. But first, let's get a look at your forecast as many of you get ready to walk out the door for work or school. Our top story this morning, it could be yet another child abuse scandal at yet another prestigious university. This morning, the same shock and confusion at Penn State now spreads to Syracuse University. Bernie Fine, the assistant coach for the men's basketball team, is on administrative leave this morning. The university took action Thursday following a police investigation into reports of child molestation. Investigators say two former ball boys, now in their 40s, brought forth the accusations against Coach Fine. Bobby Davis and his stepbrother Mike Lang report that Coach Fine molested them repeatedly over the course of 10 years. They say the sexual abuse started about 40 years ago and took place at the coach's home, locker rooms, and on team road trips. School officials say they will fully cooperate with police in this investigation. Here at home, great news could be on the way for USI students and their parents this morning. The University Board will vote today to reduce tuition rates for summer classes. School officials say if the proposal passes, summer tuition will roll back 20% over the next 2 years. They say the tuition cut will help students through this tough economy.
Certainly this will help students because they can start to attend college year-round and get out sooner in less debt. And so that's possibly one of the most exciting aspects of it.
School officials say this rollback will be guaranteed for the summers of 2012 and 2013. Gibson County residents have new concerns this morning as they look back on the devastating flooding last spring. It's all thanks to this, a new flooding map. Unlike the paper maps that have been around untouched and unchanged for 3 decades, these new maps have been digitized so people can see them online. And they also show something else, new floodplains. Residents who live in these newly marked areas say the new maps mean more expenses.
Nobody wants to see their property value go down, and if I want to build a house and some of my family members, we're all going to have flood insurance just because they deem that it needs it.
City officials say the new maps are meant to warn residents of the potential danger if the water starts to rise again. FEMA and state officials say they will explain these new maps to every county in the Hoosier State. Caught on tape this morning, a wild and deadly police chase in northern Indiana. This is a dash cam footage of what happened last month in Lafayette. After a brief chase, you can see the man get out of the car and then stabs a police officer in the face. Officers on the scene were forced to shoot the suspect 7 times, eventually killing him. Investigators say the officers who fired their guns acted within department policy. What started out as a peaceful protest against corporate greed is anything but peaceful this morning. Thousands of protesters took to the streets in major cities throughout the country Thursday, clashing head-to-head with police. ABC's Tamon Bradley has the latest.
Tamon Bradley, ABC News.
Kicking the habit can be difficult, but smokers better get ready if city leaders have their way. Right now, city leaders are drafting a bill to ban smoking in all public places next year. They say Evansville has one of the worst smoking ordinances in the entire country, and that needs to change. City Council shot down a comprehensive smoking ban with a tie vote this past spring, but members say they are confident this new vote will pass.
What you would see with a comprehensive smoking ban is the casino would become smoke-free, as well as all bars and smoking areas of restaurants.
Anti-smoking legislation has become increasingly popular across the United States in recent years. Indianapolis city leaders plan to introduce a smoking ban that could take effect before the Super Bowl. Reduce, reuse, recycle. It's time to gather your bottles and newspapers and anything else that you have. Vanderburgh County Solid Waste District is scheduled to hold a drop-off recycling day this weekend. The drop-off will be held at Evansville Day School from 8 in the morning until noon on Saturday. Officials will accept anything as long as it can be recycled. The next recycling day is scheduled for December 10th at the old Walmart West. Tracking the economy this morning at 6:37, roads and highways across the country about to get busy for the holidays. A new survey shows the majority of travelers will head to their Thanksgiving destinations by way of road. AAA says more than 40 million people will travel more than 50 miles away from home over the long weekend. That's a 4% increase in traffic from last year. Hybrid cars may not just save you money, but they may save your life. A new insurance report shows drivers and passengers in hybrid cars are 25% less likely to get hurt in an accident. They say the weight of the hybrid car's battery may explain the report's findings. Here is your chance to be someone's angel this holiday season. SWIRCA and more will soon be putting out their angel tree. The tree will hold ornaments that list the wishes and needs of more than 200 families. SWIRCA says wishes range from meeting basic needs like grocery gift cards and clothes to non-essentials like vacuum cleaners and other household items. Officials say no matter the item, it's all worthwhile.
Some of our clients that live by themselves don't have family. This may be the only item they'll get, so it makes a huge difference.
The ornaments can be chosen from the angel tree at the SWIRCA and More Activity Center, and gifts must be returned by December 14th. Here's your chance to see our very own Shelly Kirk put on her dancing shoes and hit the dance floor. She's participating in the Stars Ballroom Blitz taking place this Saturday at the Henderson Fine Arts Center. The event is the tri-state version of ABC's hit Dancing with the Stars. Shelley's been practicing very hard for her big night. You can read all about her experience on her blog at news25.us. We certainly wish her the best of luck. Coming up on Daybreak, you've got a friend in me. Florida police end a standoff by using social media. Ahead, find out why this one connection prevented carnage. Welcome back to Daybreak. Our time now is 6:47. The man accused of shooting at the White House will face attempted assassination charges. Oscar Ortega Hernandez appears in federal court for the first time Thursday. Federal authorities say the 21-year-old fired a rifle toward the White House last Friday. People who knew Hernandez say he thought the president was the Antichrist. Republican presidential candidate Herman Cain will soon receive special protection from the Secret Service. Usually the Secret Service begins protecting major candidates about 4 months before the general election. The Cain campaign apparently requested this protection, but no one knows why. He may be related to the commander-in-chief, but this man isn't receiving any special treatment. The uncle of President Obama appeared in Massachusetts court Thursday on DUI charges. Police say Onyango Obama failed to make a complete stop back in August and failed a sobriety test. His attorney says the officer did not have probable cause and wants the case thrown out of court. For the hundreds of millions of connections Facebook has made, one connection potentially saved a Florida man's life. When the man barricaded himself in a shed and threatened to take his life, the sheriff's office negotiating team responded. Negotiator pulled up Facebook, friended the man in the shed, and they began chatting with him. After a lengthy conversation, the man eventually came out. And talk about a soccer brawl. A soccer game between two rival high schools turns ugly. The two teams were playing for a shot at the state title game in Massachusetts. Witnesses say players from both teams were playing rough, and then things got quickly much rougher. Fans and parents came streaming off the bleachers to exchange blows with one another before police managed to restore order. Welcome back to Daybreak. Your time now is 6:56. This morning, the same shock and confusion at Penn State University over a child sex abuse scandal spreads to Syracuse University. Right now, Bernie Fine, the assistant coach for the men's basketball team, is on administrative leave this morning. The university took action Thursday following a police investigation into reports of child molestation. Investigators say two former ball boys, now in their 40s, brought forth these accusations against Coach Fine. Bobby Davis and his stepbrother Mike Lang report that Coach Fine molested them repeatedly over the course of 10 years. They say the sexual abuse started about 40 years ago and took place at the coach's home, the team's locker rooms, and on team road trips. School officials say they will fully cooperate with police in this investigation. Here at home, Gibson County residents have new concerns this morning as they look back on the devastating flooding last spring. It's all thanks to this. It's a new flooding map. Unlike the paper maps that have been around untouched and unchanged for 3 decades, these new digitized maps are available online to view. But they also show something else, new floodplains. Residents who live in these newly marked areas say new maps mean they now have to buy flood insurance, which doesn't come cheap, but needed to keep their house price from going down. City officials say the new maps are meant to warn residents of the potential danger if the water starts to rise again. FEMA and state officials will explain these new flooding maps to every county in the Hoosier State. USI students and parents, great news could be on the way for you this morning. The University Board will vote today to reduce tuition rates for summer classes. School officials say if the proposal passes, summer tuition will roll back 20% over the next 2 years. They say the tuition cut will help students through this tough economy. School officials say the rollback will be guaranteed for the summers of 2012 and 2013. Evansville police could soon take a digital step forward in crime-fighting technology. As part of the Smart City initiative unveiled this week by Mayor Jonathan Winesapple, new radios, instant streaming video, and surveillance cameras could soon become available for Evansville police. Right now, officials say they're still exploring the idea and do not know where the cameras would be placed. But with the $50 million to work with, officials say the cameras are a possibility. The mayor has said he hopes to have the whole initiative completed in about 2 years. And the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign officially starts today. The kickoff is scheduled to take place this morning at 10 at the Evansville Courier and Press building on Walnut Street. Leaders are still looking for people to volunteer as bell ringers. You can work 1 or 2 hour shifts, whatever is most convenient for you. Representatives say one person ringing a bell outside of a business for 2 hours can feed a family for an entire week. Familiar sound of the holidays, and this morning it feels like the holidays as well with how cold it is.
It sure does. It feels very chilly out there. Temperatures holding in the 20s and 30s here at 6:30. 27 right now in Owensboro, still 24 in Hartford, 31 in Evansville. Plenty of sunshine out there today, and that's going to continue all day long. We're expecting a little bit warmer conditions, 51 degrees by lunchtime. Afternoon highs make it into the mid-50s today. Still below average, which is into the upper 50s for this time of year. In terms of the weekend, increasing clouds on Saturday, a little bit warmer, low 60s, then the rain will begin to roll in on Sunday. So if you're planning on going to the holiday parade, expect maybe a wet one. At least it'll be mild though, low 60s on Sunday.
But it looks good for the Owensboro parade
Correct,
on
looks
Saturday,
great.
which I will be at, so feel free to say hi. Have a great weekend. See you here Monday.